And welcome to episode 2 of the Wedding Insights. This is a new live program dedicated to weddings and helping you to get the most from your day. My name is James and I will be your host today. Today we welcome two special guests, both wedding industry professionals. Our first guest is Jada. She's a wedding planner and founder of Enchanting Wedding and Events. So, welcome to you. Thank you for joining me. First of all, just sort of kicking off, obviously this is completely live. We've had a quick chat, haven't we, before going live, but can you, for the benefit of people watching, hopefully sort of connecting to us via YouTube and Facebook, can you sort of tell me a bit about yourself and what you do, if that's all right?
Yeah, of course. So, hi everyone. My name is Jada, and I am the owner of Enchanting Weddings and Events. That is a wedding planning and events planning business, basically based in London. My whole life has been in hospitality and events. So I came directly from a hospitality background, which I'm very proud of. And I came to London to doing events in 2015. And since there, I just started to work in the hospitality industry. And moving forward, I decided to set up my own business, study with the Wedding Academy, and in 2019, I just opened Enchanting Weddings and Events. And my aim is basically to help brides to feel in control of their wedding day, as they are the total protagonist of the day. So yeah, this is me, very briefly.
Brilliant. I mean, you've had quite a journey, haven't you, in terms of geographically and what you've been through. I read in your notes on your website that you attended, was it the Wedding Academy? Is that right?
Yeah,
where you did the qualification. Could you tell me a little bit about that, if that's all right, and what that involved?
Yeah, of course. So the Wedding Academy, it has been a fantastic journey for me because it really helps me to put together my practical knowledge with more in-depth learning knowledge about weddings. So the Wedding Academy is is an established business that aim is to instruct new wedding planner and so create new professional of the sector. I did their courses, so I'm now kind of a certificated professional and they helped me a lot in setting up the business and in all the process that come from there. So I'm still in a learning path. So I'm still in my first 1 year and a half of my business, but I feel I have improved a lot, and really I can't wait for next season to kick in and start again to work with couple on wedding day coordination, which is one of my services and one of the things I the most enjoy to do. So yeah.
I read in your on your website as well, you focus a lot on decor as well, and that's kind of your specialist area or something you're interested in. Is that right? And if so, could you tell me a bit more about some of the specialist things that you do? Because I get the impression you do a number of different things on the coordination front, but there's a few things that you're, I guess, maybe more passionate about. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah, well, so on my website, I offer mainly free services that are the venue sourcing, in which I help the couple to find their dream wedding venue, the supplier sourcing, which I help them to decide which is the team to hire on the day, and the wedding day coordination itself. That is a journey that starts with the couple 3 months earlier, and I just go down with them with all the details in a way that they can simply relax and enjoy their day. Apart from this one, of course, I'm happy to offer more consultation about decor, which is something that I am really passionate about it. And I think in particular in this period, I try to pop in my imagination, planning more photo shooting. I have a photo shooting coming over in April. I started to work a couple of months ago to to try to stay on top with new trend for 2021 and to get creative, because it's something really this industry has a deep need. So we are all creative, we are all so passionate about what we are doing, so we need to create even if there is no major events at the moment because what is happening with the world. But yeah, I think fantasy and imagination and creation is something really, really important. So yeah, happy to offer consultation about that, of course, and of anything that the couple may need. I will offer extra services in that sense. Yes, absolutely.
Brilliant. Well, just to say, for people watching, I'm about to post your website into the
All
chat,
right,
into the comments. That's on Facebook and YouTube, the different places that are going out today. So if you are interested in finding out more and the things that we've talked about today are of interest to you at home, then please do follow the links and sort of find out more. I guess leading on from that, what sort of benefits are there to having someone help to plan, coordinate, and source suppliers? What's the main benefits to the couple, would you say?
So I think the couple have a huge benefit in having somebody helps, because they really need to be guided sometimes, even if they don't realize they have a real need. When you're getting married, you're so excited and you really want to kick off with so many different things. And first things that you will do, probably you will go on a Facebook group and asking for advice to the brides, asking what needs to be booked first, ask advice on how to manage your budget, what should cost what. And the real things is that you don't know, and you ask advice to other people that are on the same journey to try to get as much as you can out from that. But having a person that is a professional and know what to do, really, I think it takes out a lot of the stress from the couple and from the bride, and also from the bridal party. But a lot of times it comes in hand helping the brides during the day. Basically, hiring a professional will also avoid this one, and will let your bridal party and you as a couple to really enjoy your day, because you have hired somebody that have your back, really, and will be in charge or responsible for whatever is happening on the day. So yeah, I hope this answered the question because you were a bit really I didn't understand exactly what you were saying before, so I was like
yeah, no, that was really good. You've kind of got it in a nutshell, really. You're I guess you're a reassuring presence on the day. You make things happen. You take stress away from the couple. I love the idea of venue sourcing and the supplier sourcing, because when you look on Facebook groups, particularly for weddings, if someone posts into a group, for example, I'm looking for a photographer or a videographer, hundreds of people will respond to that. And even knowing where to begin, I almost feel sorry for people who've put something into a group like that, because how can you ever possibly get through the amount of people that have responded and even know where to begin? So I think coming to someone like you is really helpful, actually, because you know people that are good. You might know different people for different requirements, and yeah, I think that's a really positive thing, and probably one of the definite benefits of coming to you. I guess I don't know how many of these you've had to deal with over the last sort of year, but have you got any advice for couples that are having to reschedule their wedding and maybe look at another date in the future? I mean, what have you been saying to your clients?
So not in my current experience, because I really started during the pandemic. So I had not a direct experience in regards to this one, but I have a lot of an indirect experience from other wedding pros. And it is absolutely one of the most trickiest parts in planning a wedding in 2020. I really feel for this couple. They had to make very tough decision, in particular in regards to postponement or cancellation. And I have felt the world just split in two. So there are half of the couples that were willing to reschedule to the next year, and they did so, but now they are coming in a point but saying, oh my God, I don't know what is happening in April. I have like couples getting married in early spring, but they're like, oh my God, I don't know what is happening. I postponed from last year to this year to try to be safe, and now maybe I had to postpone a third times. Meanwhile, there are other couples that have decided to reduce their number and go for a smaller wedding, or some of them have decided to have just an intimate ceremony just to get married and postpone after COVID for the big celebration. So I really saw the world splitting in opinion in this. It also depends a lot from refunding from the venue, from the supplier, which I know they always are very flexible, and they always try to meet their couple needs, in particular in this specific situation with COVID and everything. But yeah, it depends overall. What is the budget, how it looks like the budget after you will need to reschedule, and how much money you will get back from this one. So it depends from the overall budget, and it depends also about preference of people, and it's not an easy decision. It is absolutely a tricky one, and I think also speaking with a professional in the wedding industry and getting help about that one is quite essential. In particular, because they can give you some more suggestion what is the next step based on budget, because I think it comes down a lot on budget in this situation, in particular when you don't get a refund or you don't get full refund from your previous booking. So it comes down a lot on this one. So it's a tricky question to answer in a sense, but it really depends from situation to situation. But asking for help of a wedding professional will really help to have a major clarity in mind, I think.
Brilliant. Well put. Final question, and it's actually one from our audience. So I'm going to bring it up on screen if that's all right.
Yep.
What's your top tip for those who have recently got engaged? Where should they start? What should they do first, I guess?
So top tip, I think, meaning the first thing that needs to be booked is going to be the venue. I just want to say that one because it's quite important. So if you are just getting engaged, just think about booking your venue, because it will take a very big chunk of your budget, I would say. So decide where you would get married, the first big decision, because of budget, but also because of the type of location. So you really need to get a clarity in mind of which type of wedding would you like. So there are different styles of weddings. I'm not even go down to color palette because it's gonna get too much complicated, but just say there are different styles of wedding, and for each style there are different type of venues. With my clients, I have a spreadsheet, so I make it easy. I have a simple Excel spreadsheet, and I try to figure it out what is the best option and what they are really looking into it. But if you're doing by yourself, I would just say pen and paper and write it down how your imaginary dream wedding would like to be. So you can start to search in that direction. You just need to go really intentional in what you need to do, because as we said, the offer is huge. If you go in brides groups on Facebook, you will find a lot of supplier and venue but just messaging you, oh, call me, book me. So you can't go there without having thought before what you want. You really need to be clear on what you want, and after you move throughout booking. Same things for supplier, but it's the second thing that needs to be booked. You just need to have a clarity of mind. And each supplier, let's say they give the same services or products, but in a completely different way. And it gets down to style as well. If you think a photographer, for example, there are a million ways that you can describe a photographer, and that a photographer can perform and get a different result. So you need to see different photographer, go on different websites, see what different style are out there, and make your decision throughout it. So I think it's down to personal choice. So that's why you really need to be intentional and think before act. Don't just go blindfolded, because you will get confused and you'll probably ended up with a result that is not what you had planned in your mind originally.
Brilliant.
That's
wow.
it.
That was really good. Thank you. Unfortunately, we're out of time, but I feel like I should get you back on again in the future, because we've had one really good question, but I feel if we did this in a month or so's time, once we've built up even more of an interest and a following in this, and people sort of start to see the expertise and the value that's being shared here from people like yourself, I think they'd be very, very interested. So if you'd be interested in coming back again in the future, it'd be lovely to have you on. And yeah, thank you so much for answering all my questions, but also our question from the comments. And again, if you are watching at home, I can see we've got quite a few people on. Please do ask questions. This is very much interactive. We are live. This isn't pre-recorded. You can ask questions and we will bring up some on the screen. So thank you again so much for all the effort I know you've put into this. You know, you've sent me answers to your questions, and you were really enthusiastic, and it's been great having you. So thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Hang around in the green room and see what else is going on, or perhaps if you want to interact with some of the comments on Facebook, that'd be great as well. But yeah, thank you again for joining me on the program.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Brilliant. So some fantastic insight there. Our second guest is Nick Brown. He's a magician based in Essex, not far from where I live and where our offices are. So Nick, I welcome you to the program. Thank you for waiting in the wings. How are you, sir? Classic Zoom error there. I didn't unmute you, Nick.
Okay. Hello, James. Nice to be with you. Thanks for having me.
You know this is live because I've pressed the wrong button. There you go.
On me.
So you obviously heard and saw all of that, didn't you, Nick, in the background? What did you think there in terms of the advice? I mean, that's the whole aim of this program, but
yeah,
some good insights for you?
Brilliant. I mean, I think my overriding observation is people like that can't get across in 15 minutes the amount of things that they can do for people. Yeah, have the lady back, but it's very hard, and it would be quite difficult for me, although what I do is more narrow, to convey in 15 minutes, you know, all of the information. It was excellent.
This might be an evolving format. We might end up doing a extended version of the Wedding Insights, because half an hour seemed like a long time, but there's so much that you can talk about, isn't there, really? I guess kicking off, Nick, if that's all right, could you, for the benefit of those joining us, could you sort of explain a bit about yourself, what you do, in a nutshell, if that's all right, just so people have a bit of an understanding?
Sure, I can see my name on there. It's Nick Brown, and I'm a professional close-up magician. I would say I genuinely do specialise in weddings. I would say 70% of my work is weddings, and I market myself at weddings quite heavily, because that's the work I enjoy the most. And I go under the name of the Essex Magician, so that's my URL, that's my website. And although I'm the Essex Magician, I do work in a lot of other places as well.
So again, everyone has an interesting story of how they ended up in the wedding business that they're in. But what was it that got you into magic and prompted you to go in a new career direction?
Well, I came to it fairly late. My father took me into his business and his industry when I was young, which was paper and print, which was a great career for a long time, but got very, very difficult around 10 years ago. And I'd always been an enthusiastic hobbyist, amateur magician. And because my industry was getting so difficult, I started to think about whether it might be possible for me to shift out of that and into magic as a career. So just like you might go and get some guitar lessons or some lessons to learn a language, I found some magicians who were prepared to take me from, as I say, very much amateur and hobbyist and help me get my magic to a professional standard. And then having got my magic to a professional standard, those people then helped me with, you know, if you want to go and do this, here's some more information about the market, how to market yourself, where work might come from. And as well as helping teach you to do tricks, the art really is to learn to perform and then to put that into a business, sales, marketing, all that kind of stuff. So I had a lot of help from those guys. They also then got me doing some free stuff, some charity stuff, just to get some performing experience. And then eventually one day you just think, that's it, I think I'm ready. But I was still in a full-time job, and I had to wait for the right time to jump out of that and into magic. And that came in 2015 when, thank goodness, I got a redundancy offer because I was really ready to go and do this. And that gave me a bit of a financial freedom to go and take that chance. So that's how it all happened, really.
And you've never looked back?
No, I have to say the last 12 months have been tricky, but other than
one thing I thought was really nice, actually, is the supportive kind of network that you've built around yourself. So, you know, for people watching this, they would probably think, oh, you've got a group of basically magicians that are in effect could be considered your competitors, but you all kind of collaborate, train, teach, help develop each other, don't you? Even, I know you've said to me in the past, refer customers to each other when you're booked and things like that. I mean, to anyone watching this, maybe couples themselves or other wedding suppliers that aren't so collaborative, you know, what could you say about the supportive nature of your, I guess, of your almost your competitors' network? How does that help you and develop you?
Enormously. I mean, I was part of a very formal group. I mean, the modern term seems to be mastermind groups, but I went into a little group with 4 others, so 5 in total. We didn't actually have any geographical conflict, but if we had, it wouldn't have overly concerned me. And when you put 5 people in a group, inevitably they've got different backgrounds, different skills, different strengths, different weaknesses. And the term that was used in the group was that a rising tide floats all boats. And if we can all help each other to get better at the things we're less good at, and we can all bring our standard up in general across a wide range of things, we all benefit. And, you know, I was able to take out of that group and contribute.
I think it's really nice. Again, I have a similar approach with what would be considered many of my video competitors. We collaborate, we work together, we share expertise and findings on things, and actually we're all the better for it. And I find it funny when and when you work with other industries and they're so closed and guarded, I sort of say to them, well, what are you scared of? You know, I don't understand it, but I think that's the age we live in now, is this kind of wider collaboration economy, really. So it's good you're really on board and you're embracing that.
And I do remember once sending a friend request to another magician in the same area as me, and he phoned me up and he said, I don't accept friend requests from other magicians. And, you know, I very much take the opposite view, very much.
Or at least they rang you to tell you so. I mean, that was quite polite of them, I guess, wasn't it? So, oh no, we've got a comment coming in. Dave, can you show us a trick? Now, unfortunately, Dave, we did a rehearsal the other day, and we've decided, I think, Nick, haven't we, that magic does not convey itself well via the medium of social media.
Yeah, we tried, and everything I did was particularly, you raise the iPad for this, and unfortunately, it means that everything you do up here is at an awkward angle, and you can see the underside of the cards as well as the top, which is not quite how it's supposed to work. But Dave, when I next see you, whenever that will be, I'll have one ready for you, I promise.
There you go. His response is. Thank you, Dave, for getting involved. As I say, we welcome comments, and I'm sure Nick welcomes a question at the end. So don't be shy. I guess moving on from that, Nick. Sorry, I took us on a little bit of a tangent. Sort of above and beyond the obvious entertainment value of magic at a wedding, what would you say are some of the sort of wider benefits of having a magician or having magic at your wedding?
Yeah, I think there's several. So if you think about a typical wedding day, it starts off very formally, doesn't it, with people arriving and some gentle chit chat, and then you go into a ceremony and it's very formal. And then if you took a picture of the end of the evening, it's the total opposite. It gradually, doesn't it? It moves into. I've seen a comment from Dave, distracted me. Thank you, Dave.
I just wanted to throw you off what you were saying, Nick, just on purpose, with some flattery. There you go.
The formality gradually subsides, doesn't it? And it moves into, it gets noisier, it gets more friendly, people have a bit more to drink, then some music starts, and by the end of the evening, it's a massive party. So a wedding kind of goes on that journey. So one of the things that what I do is great for is just breaking ice early on. So you've arrived, you've done your idle chit chat, you've been in the ceremony, you come out and you get your first drink. And a lot of people don't necessarily know lots of other people. So, so if I'm there for a drinks reception and I can see 3 couples somewhere near each other, I'll introduce myself to one and then pull across another and then take them across so that we form a 6. And, by the time I've done my introductions, not only do I know everybody's name, but they all know everybody's name. And then we can have 5, 6, 7 minutes of fun magic. And I know by the time I walk away, that's not 3 groups of 2, it's a group of 6. And they're going to continue to chat. And then hopefully they'll say, wasn't the magic great? But yeah, in fact, one of the magicians I know used this term for himself as a social lubricant. So,
I like that.
Well, that's neat, isn't it?
Yeah.
So breaking ice early in the day. You'll know about this because we've worked some weddings together. It creates fantastic photo and video opportunities. What photographers want are smiling, laughing, animated faces. And the moment they're finished with official photographs, they seem to gravitate to groups that I'm working with because they're picking up fantastic photographs which make things quite memorable. It's going to happen on the day. If you book it, it's going to happen. If you book outdoor garden games and it's raining, or if you book an ice cream van and it's, turns out to be the 2 degrees, that it matters. But with me, outdoors, indoors, everything I've got goes in my pockets. The people don't need to come to me. I find them. So it's very, very portable. And it's also very inclusive. So, there's nobody at a wedding that I can't approach and show some magic. Everything from children right through to, the oldest of guests. And sometimes even people with some difficulties, whether they be, if I see somebody in a wheelchair, they've got to be entertained as best they can. So, I'll approach them. I don't know why they're in a wheelchair, but I'll have a chat with them, and usually there's someone with them, and with a bit, I can choose a card, maybe sign a card, remember a card. If it's not a card trick, something else. But everybody's there to be entertained and can be. So those, I think, are some of the benefits.
I mean, certainly the weddings we've done together, I've always got good video shots, people throwing their heads back with laughter, children with a look of amazement on their faces. It makes our job a little bit easier for that part of the of the day, definitely. And in all these years, I've never worked out how you do any of your tricks. Even when I rewind it, put it in slow-mo, try different angles. I haven't figured it out yet, but I'll get there in the end. I guess final question, and again, the time always runs away. Where typically do couples tend to sort of use your services? And I guess how long would you typically be at a wedding if there is a typical period of time of which you would be booked for at a wedding?
That's probably the most important thing to get right. It's very clear when I get inquiries through the website that I get a lot of people that either have no idea, other than they want some entertainment and they want a magician. They have no real idea of what they want and when they want it, or they've got a real good idea of what they want, but it's completely unworkable based around time versus guest numbers and other things that are happening. So I see my first job as holding their hand, getting lots of information, and then trying to make some sort of proposal that fits. So I might get an inquiry that says, I've got 180 guests. Can you do an hour starting at 5 o'clock? I can't get to 180 guests in an hour. I need 3 hours. What's going on at 5 o'clock? What else is happening? How practical is this really? So I ask people lots of questions. So where's your venue? I'll probably know it. Can I have your whole timings for the day? What are your guest numbers? Are there children? Is there any other entertainment booked? Have you got music? Are you having speeches at the start or the end of your wedding breakfast? Have you got additional guests in the evening? What time's your first dance? La 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 la. And from there, I can always look at that, and I think I can confidently say, I think what would work best for you is this. And that might be the drinks reception. It might be the wedding breakfast. It might be the last hour of one and the first hour of another. It might be that I do an hour at the drinks reception and then I come back in the evening and do another stint. It's very, very flexible. And I think some people think, why are you asking me all this? I just want you to come and do some magic. But as I say, I think it's a really important thing to get right. And I think the other thing is you have to tune into how much the couple want this for their guests and how much they want it because they love magic. Because at certain parts of the day, couples are not going to see any magic at all. And I have to make that very clear to them. If they come out of the ceremony, they've got an hour of photos, they've probably got half an hour of mixing with guests, and then somebody's trying to drag them into a wedding breakfast, and I have to find them to say goodbye, and then they say, "Oh, I didn't see you," But so it's important people understand the difference between that section and maybe a wedding breakfast where I can do some special stuff at the top table and for a couple of romantic tricks or wedding related tricks. So it's really important to uncover all that stuff and get that bit right.
I think that's really good, actually. You're almost kind of ascertaining where it's suitable for you to come in, if it is at all suitable. I'm sure there's been weddings over the years where you said, it's probably not worth your while booking and paying for me because I don't think you'll get best value out of me. Has that happened ever to you where you've just said, your 15-minute window is probably not worth your while? And
that I try not to turn people away. I try and find solutions, but if it's a corporate booking or a dinner or something, you often get a real imbalance between the amount of people and the amount of tables they've got and the amount of performing time available. So, if somebody says, "Oh, I've got 20 tables of 10 and we sit down at 7:30 and the dancing starts at 9, my advice would be, can I bring another magician? We'll split the room in two, we'll hit every table. You won't get anyone come up to you afterwards and say, "I saw a magician, but he didn't come to our table." That's really what I'm trying to avoid.
Yeah, so, you don't want that, do you? I suppose you want to make sure everyone's had a good experience and that's been equal for everyone, really.
And that comes from, good fact finding early on, really.
Well, we do a similar thing with video. I think it's important to ask all the right questions. But again, when you're booking a professional like yourself that's been doing it for a long time, that's what you get. That's what you're paying for, isn't it, really, I suppose? So Final question for you, Nick, before we wrap up. It's Dave again. How much have you missed weddings?
Oh, a lot. A real lot, yeah. And, not only have I sort of had the sadness of missing it, it's we're all a bit bored, we're all missing income, we're all missing social interaction, but at the same time, you're dealing with the misery of these poor couples who have postponed once and are postponing again, and don't know whether to postpone. And you've got their current date, you've got their reserve date, and yes, I'm missing it a lot, and I can't wait to get back, and hopefully we can. And I've got plenty of work in the diary, as I have had for a while, but no opportunity to carry it out, and it's very frustrating.
Yeah, that's a very good question there, Dave. Thank you for that and for your input. I think that brings us nicely to a close. Again, both our guests today, I could talk to both of you probably for an hour or more each. So, watch this space. You will probably both be back on here in the future. Maybe we review this and we make it a little bit longer, because I feel like we've run out of time with both of you today. But again, thank you, Nick, for taking the time to do this and putting all the thought and effort into it that I know you have. I mean, before this, we were doing a test day, and there's a lot more goes into a half an hour program like this than probably anyone would ever think about. So yeah, thank you for taking the time to do it.
And hopefully I'll see you at a wedding sometime soon.
I do hope so. Brilliant. Thank you, Nick.
Bless.
Brilliant. Well, two fantastic guests there today. Thank you to both of them for all the thought, the time that they've put into this. As I said, a lot more goes into a very short program like this than you might possibly imagine, really, from the production of the video and the graphics to the guests, researching, getting people booked in. There's a lot to it, and it's really enjoyable, actually. It's been a good experience for me to sort of be presenter / producer over the last couple of weeks on this. And we're looking forward to keeping this going. We are here every Tuesday at 7:00 live on Facebook and on YouTube. And you can join me again next Tuesday. We're going to have two more great guests. And again, you've got the chance to ask any questions. These are industry experts with expertise that you can tap into. So, if you're around at 7:00 next week, join us, ask some questions, and please do get involved, because it's great to have you involved and to sort of have more of a conversation, really, with all of us. So again, thank you to our guests for joining us, and thank you to you all at home sort of watching this. And if you're watching this afterwards, which I'm sure many people were, and we know certainly were last week, I hope you've enjoyed the program. If you're a wedding supplier and you're watching this and you're thinking, actually, I've got some insights, I've got some expertise I'd like to share with people, then do get in contact. We are looking for people to come onto the program. It is live, so as long as you're comfortable with the idea of going live and you're happy to talk to me for 10-15 minutes, we'd love to have you on. So please email info@hdmedia.co.uk. I'll pop that in the comments. Drop us a line, and we'd love to sort of have you on board. And also wedding couples, if you're planning your wedding and there's things you'd like to share with other couples, then again, we'd love to have you on. And we have got a couple booked in for a couple of weeks' time. So again, this isn't just wedding experts talking to you about what they do and offering advice. This is couples too. So again, we welcome people to join us. So thank you again for taking the time to watch this. And if you've been watching it on replay, I hope you've enjoyed it as well. And we will see you next week.